I agree with the importance of managing games. I also agree with the delusional state that we have when we talk about being a player being a game manager. It is one of the greatest assets I believe a quarterback can have. You got to manage the game regardless. Our understanding of it is the guy that does nothing great, the guy that just does what the coach says, turn around and hand the ball off and make easy throws. First of all, there's no such thing as easy throws in the National Football League. Every throw is always a tough throw because those are two pros. You're throwing 2-1. The other one is trying to defend a pro. Pros, the best in the business, the best this game has to offer at this, at those positions. So there is no easy. Game manager really means the guy that makes the plays and manage the game. The crucial plays at the crucial time to keep the game going in his favor. Two of the greatest game managers we've ever seen plays in this game. Sunday, Patrick Mahomes has just retired, and then Tom Brady. Two of the greatest quarterbacks we ever seen. The greatest thing they ever did was manage games. Skip Key, this is the kind of stuff that just irks me. You know, when I hear statements like this, when I heard people say, you get stronger as the game goes on. This guy gets stronger as the game. You can't let a dummy like me hear stuff like this because I got to go and try to see, is that true? Somebody's getting stronger as the game goes on and I'm not getting stronger, so I'm killing myself trying to test this theory. And I can tell you, it's a lie. No one gets stronger as the game goes on. You try to lose less strength as the game go on, as the next man is going to lose. That's what you do. We got it all mixed up. We got it backwards. It's my pet peeve. We got to stop saying stupid things and calling ourselves smart. That's stupid stuff. A game manager is the greatest asset a quarterback can have. Manage the game, make the plays when you need to make the plays. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady has done it great. Brock Purdy is doing it great. Stop giving it to the man with a negative connotation and give him his flowers right now.
You know, I don't know how many games you actually won in your career, Michael, and I don't know how many I actually won in my career, but I can tell you the games that we did win, our quarterbacks managed the situation, which means they did not give the football to the other team. They did not take unnecessary chances to put us in harm's way. They stayed on script. It did everything that the coaches asked them to do, which was get the team into the end zone. So my definition of a game manager is doing everything right, doing everything that is asked of you. There's this negative connotation about the game managing situation. Like you said, Michael, he just takes the ball, he hands it over, and the other guys do everything, and that's pretty much it. That's not true. Okay, a game manager is somebody that they don't trust. They don't want you throwing the football at all. They just say, hey, you just turn around and hand the football off. You throw a screen here and there. We're going to keep your attempts down to 12 because we don't trust you. That's not the case with Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy and Tom Brady and on and on and on about Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. They don't turn the football over, you win the game. It's as simple as that. You get the football to the open guy. You do the easy things. If it's dinking and dunking, Skip, okay. You don't have to push the ball down the field. You don't have to. Everything is in front of you. It's easy money. Take the easy money. Move the chains. They said that
about smart play.
Smart
right?
play.
And the smart play. The smart play.
Smart play.
And you know, Skip, one thing you talk, because I think I go, when you were talking, Key, I went back to Peyton Manning. You remember when Peyton first got to Denver? Wow. What a year he had. He was throwing that ball everywhere. But the year they won the Super Bowl, he just managed the games properly. He put them in the right position to make sure that they don't mess up what that great defense was doing. That's what he was doing. He was a great game manager that year.
But it ain't even that year he was a great game manager. The year they won the Super Bowl in Indianapolis, that Super Bowl, he managed the game. He gave the football to Joseph Adai and company in the flat, and they, against cover two, they made hay after the catch. He won the MVP because he managed the situation the right way.
It rained the whole game.
And it rained the whole, but he managed it. They're not going to say managed. They're not going to say managed, Skip, because he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
And he's Peyton Manning. Yep. So they're not going to say that. But when you get to Brock Purdy, they're saying that because of where he was drafted. Now you're looking at Patrick Mahomes. A year ago, they ran too high on him when Tyreek Hill wasn't in. That means cover 2 shell. And he was forcing the football down the field until they went back and they reassessed the situation. They said, look, man, don't force it down here. Take everything underneath. You got Travis Kelce, you got Juju Smith-Schuster. You have other opportunities to take advantage of the situation. Then once he did that, things turned for him. Now you look at it this year, Skip, and here's the question. Is he a game manager more so than Brock Purdy? Yes.
Yes,
that's fine, though. He's doing everything the right way.
But the perception is completely the other way around.
Yes,
because Brock Purdy gets dismissed, downgraded, degraded as a game manager.
But you know why that is, though, Skip? Is because where he was drafted and how he got the job last year. He got the job last year based on somebody else getting hurt. He didn't beat him out. The guy got hurt, and he didn't play well. He was shooed into the situation, and then all of a sudden he goes, Plus, when you have media reports, even after last year, Kyle Shanahan's still eyeing Tom Brady. So that doesn't help people when you talk about Brock Purdy. It just doesn't, because it's like, well, if you're so confident in Brock Purdy, why are you flirting with Tom Brady? Because it's Tom damn Brady. That's why. And that'll happen for the next couple of years until he gets to be 60 years old, until somebody finally says, he can't play anymore.
True.
So, you know, I like both of these quarterbacks. I like what both of them have been able to do. And Brock Purdy will become Patrick Mahomes if he continues. He'll understand I don't always have to take shots. I can just take what's in front of me.
Okay. Allow me to start with Brock Purdy and reiterate my favorite Super Bowl stat of all this week. And that is Brock Purdy led the National Football League better than any quarterback out there in success rate of throws over 20 yards, which is considered a deeper pass. He led the whole league in success rate. He is bombs away. He is a rambling gambler. He is bucking the system that he plays in because he will pretty much try anything at any point and a lot of times make it work. He's got some magic to him, and there are times when Kyle Shanahan, you can just see him on the sideline like, oh my God, he pulled it off. It's the opposite of game. I have no idea where this started. I don't have any idea how it got legs, but they're still asking Brock Purdy, probably as we speak, about being a game manager, and he keeps shrugging and saying, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you know, Skip, all it takes is 2 or 3 people to say something at the beginning of the season, and then you go ahead, Michael.
Right, but Keith, what blows my mind is we should have learned by now. What we really try to understand and ascertain is when we see quarterbacks and we see talent, we're really measuring them shoulders down. We're not, man, what a gifted arm, what a talent. Lamar Jackson is gifted and talented, but and he can wreck your game. But Brock Purdy has to be a game manager. I tell you what, Lamar Jackson, with all that gift and talent, he didn't manage that game, that AFC Championship game well. Brock Purdy was in his championship game. He knew when that pocket was closing to go take off. That's part of managing the game. Because, all right, if I'm waiting, they're going to close this pocket. I don't have anything up the field. I got to take off right now. That's brilliant football play. We got to stop always looking at guys and saying, well, he doesn't look like he's great. Tom Brady should have gotten that out of the way a long time ago. Patrick Mahomes in the picture that you have seen moving around lately with the little belly thing should be getting that out the way. It doesn't matter. These dudes are brilliant quarterbacks. Stop playing around with what your eye gate see and tell the reality of what you are looking at. You're looking at great game managers and great quarterbacks.
All right. Now, let me take Patrick Mahomes' trajectory that we've seen through the 3 Super Bowls into the 4th one. The first one, he throws 2 interceptions, one late third quarter and one early fourth quarter that should have lost that Super Bowl to the San Francisco 49ers. Bad ideas, bad throws, and they got away with it because the opposing quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo. That's why he's no longer the opposing quarterback, because he unraveled in the fourth quarter when they're up 20-10, interception. He could not take them home. He went 3 for 11 for a grand total of 36 yards in the fourth quarter. He threw an interception, and they fell apart on defense, as Richard Sherman alluded to and talked about yesterday, and gave up to Patrick 21 points in the last 7 minutes of the game. But Patrick knew that they were in trouble twice because he made 2 bad throws. Then he faces Brady at Tampa in that Super Bowl, and he just had a bad game. And you guys say, well, he wasn't protected, but he was trying a lot of things. He was making a lot of deeper throws, and a couple of them got picked. And
you said the same thing, too, Skip, when we were watching the game. He wasn't being protected.
Okay, but whatever. But Brady would figure that one out. He'd just get rid of the ball faster. But the point is...
But we talked about that, Skip. Right. You're right. He played pre-snap. And Patrick Mahomes plays post-snap. You're right. He would have gotten rid of the ball fast.
So then we get to the game last year against Philadelphia, and it does become a shootout, but it's not because of Patrick shooting it out with Jalen, because Patrick only threw for 182 yards in that game. You know what he was doing? He was actually managing the game because he did not make a mistake in the game. Jalen made a big mistake when he lost the handle on the football and it got scooped and scored. And they did give up a big punt return, which helped Patrick in the second half. And Patrick made a nice scramble and one late throw. And he did just what he needed to do to get them home, 38-35. And they won the game. So he's got 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Now let's look at what happened this year. You realize he had a career high, did Patrick, this regular season in interceptions with 14. Remember, last year, Dak led the NFL with 15 interceptions. Well, what was going on? Kelsey had a sort of a slump later in the season. It looked like he'd lost a step and was running out of gas until he revived himself in the postseason. But they led the league in drops. So it was not working. They went 11-6, and they're going to have to go win some road games. Well, guess what happened? Here came Patrick in the postseason. He has no interceptions, no lost fumbles, and 0 turnover-worthy passes. There's not one pass you can find on tape where you say, well, that should have been picked. Nope. He's been flawless in the postseason, but not spectacular. So in the 3 Super Bowls, he's averaged 246 yards passing, which is not Brady averaged 304 in 10 Super Bowls. But what's happened in the postseason, he's right on schedule. He's averaging 239 yards a game, not spectacular, but no turnovers. And touchdown passes are happening, a lot of them to Kelsey. And what happened in the first half, as we talked about at Baltimore, he was spectacular. He and Kelsey, 9 for 9 on targets. We're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. But in the second half, finally, the Baltimore defense figured it out, locked in, locked down, and took Patrick out of the game because he had only 69 total net passing yards in the second half. But what happened on the throw of the game late in the game, a third down play where they had to cash it to kill the clock, he did it. This is it. And he throws... It was a lob ball, but it was beautifully placed, beautiful. It was a touch pass. It wasn't a step into it and fire it pass. He threw it just the way you needed to throw it to MVS, who finally actually caught one that fell right into his breadbasket. Well, it was a beautiful, it was a game management play. It's the kind of play where it's high IQ. I got you on this one. I'm going to kill you with this one because I'm going to kill the clock with this one. And that was the end of the game. So we're just seeing that he's had a lot of high QBRs and no interception games and averaging only 239 yards passing a game in these 3 playoff games.
And that's okay.
It's
right. That's okay. Right. And let me get what we don't give him credit to also, and I watched this in games. Patrick Mahomes, as he manages the game, he remembers that he had so many drops in the regular season. There have been plays that Patrick Mahomes has receivers running wide open, maybe a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 5, and it's down the field. I've seen those receivers open. He looks over there and he says, I can't take this chance. I got to scramble and go get this first down. That's managing the game. That's what I'm talking about. I go back to guys like Lamar Jackson. I say, Lamar, that player was open. You got to throw that ball or either say to yourself, I can run and go get this first down. I'm not going to risk making that throw. That's the brilliance that Patrick Mahomes makes in crucial moments that win football games, that you saw Brock Purdy do last week, crucial moments that win football games. He says, I'll run for 5 instead of trying to pick up another 35 yards throwing for my stats because I'm managing to win this game. It's brilliant football play. We got to wash our mouth out with soap with all of that game manager being a negative thing and stop doing it.
Yeah. You know, the thing, Skip, when you look at any quarterback, for instance, when they're doing everything the right way, whether it's 5-yard passes, 10-yard passes, whatever the case is, I need you to hit that pass to MVS on 3rd and 9 with 2 minutes plus to go in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
If you're able to do that, you're not somebody that I'm taking the keys away from. I'm going to give you the keys at the right time. I'm going to dial up the right play because I trust that you can do it. We go back to Jimmy Garoppolo. They didn't trust that Jimmy Garoppolo could do that. When you think about the year they went to the Super Bowl, Minnesota and Green Bay, or was it Green Bay, Minnesota? I don't remember exactly which one. They played those two teams, one in the divisional, one in the NFC Championship game. They took the ball out of his hands both times and said, no. You're going to get me fired. You're going to have us lose the game because you're trying so hard to get off script and give the football to the other team. So they basically brought him to the sideline and said, we won't be throwing the football anymore, no matter what you say. We're not doing it. And then when you go to the actual Super Bowl game, he wasn't able to hit those passes when they needed him to, just like Patrick Mahomes was able to hit on MVS when they were able to, or just like Brock Purdy was able to pull the ball down against Detroit and make hay scrambling around, or even when he scrambled and hit Juszczyk on the sideline.
And hit George Kittle, too. That was a perfect throw.
But
moving right, that throw to Kittle was perfect.
But a negative game manager doesn't make that play.
No.
They don't make those plays. So it all started, Skip, beginning of the season, as they started to win. You have to have some sort of narrative to tell a story. And he was low-hanging fruit, right? Because now all of a sudden he's starting to get some momentum, Skip, as far as MVP conversations, all of these sort of things. And it kept rising and rising and rising. And as soon as they went on a 3-game slid, they slid 3 games in a row. They lose to Cleveland and everybody goes, well, he's the problem. Not even looking at Trent Williams wasn't in the lineup, or Deebo Samuels wasn't in the lineup, and in the running back, McCaffrey had a little bruise here or there. They wasn't looking at that. They just looking at the win-loss column. And so now he's low-hanging fruit. So it's an easy target. Then Cam Newton said what he said, and then it just took fire.
Cam didn't help. That poured gasoline on that fire.
Oh, of course.
All right, and look at Patrick's trajectory. Look how he started in this league. Early on, he was made for Twitter. He was made for Instagram. He was made for TikTok because he was all splash and flash. He was no-look passes. He was left-handed passes. He was an escape artist. He was behind his back, between his legs. He was all of the above because he was trending. He was exploding all over social media because we'd never seen anything like, oh, my God, did you see that? And, oh, my God, did you see that? And then what did he say on the field? I saw this interview right after the game at Baltimore when they pulled it off as an underdog. He said, and I quote Patrick, I've learned to play different. It's not all about stats. It's just about winning in the end. You saw Tom do it for a long time. He would do whatever it took to win. When my defense is rolling like that, and they were rolling at Baltimore, he said, I have to kind of manage my game, said Patrick Mahomes. Well, good for you, young man. You are growing up right before our very eyes. You are figuring out, oh, well, all that matters in the end is not whether you go viral. It just depends on whether you win or lose the Super Bowl, right? In the end, isn't that how you're judged, you're gauged?
But guess what, Skip?
Yeah.
He still has that viral instinct in his body. So anytime he needs to pull it out in those crucial situations, he's able to do that because he's done it before. Yeah, he's just not doing it the way as regularly as he used to try to do it. Yes.
Well, as dynamic and as spectacularly looking as we used to see, with all the beautiful no-look pass and all the things. But to bring it all back down and say, whoa, that's not what we need now. Let me tell you something, too. That last throw to Scanlon, Valdez-Scantling, trust me, there was some real – the way even Scanlon caught that ball, Key, made me say, hey, when the ball was in there, he's like, oh, my God, I got to catch this ball. You know what I mean? Because really,
he probably hung up
that
for
was
like
a
an hour.
perfect throw. He should have run with this ball for a touchdown. He was too afraid. Right here, he said, I got to turn around. He caught it like a punt. Like a punt. Like, right here.
You got to. Yeah.
But Patrick
that's
wasn't.
a perfect throw.
But
That's a
Patrick
perfect
wasn't
throw.
trying to throw it as a touchdown. He was trying to throw it as a completion and give him a real opportunity to make that play, opposed to lead him and missing.
Right.
Yeah.
But he got scared, Key. I would have taken this to the house.
Well,
I would have taken that to the house.
You would have.
Right, that's
he
what
would
I'm
have.
scared.
But remember, he dropped one of those.
I was just about to say that, Skip. I was about to say, Michael, you know damn well when that football is in the air.
I would have cut back.
I'm saying when that football is in the air, it's a whole lot different. We can say this on TV, right? Because we made a lot of catches in our careers. But when that thing is, and you done had a negative outcome the last time this situation came up, you're going to secure it the best way you can, because if that happened again in this situation, you might not get back on the plane.
That's a fact.
Back to Kansas City.
That is a fact.
You gotta.
I agree.
You
I
gotta.
agree.
It's
I
like
agree.
a baby being dropped out the third floor, man. You got to catch it.
And there was no reason
Like,
to
no
house
matter
it.
what.
All you needed to do was catch it, and the game was over. And he did.
Right.
All right. I enjoyed
that's
that.
it.
Up next, we're going to enjoy this because Tom Brady says he's surprised Bill Belichick didn't get a job. We dive deeper next.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.